Hello, everyone. A social media post by Yuichiro Tamaki, the leader of Japan's Democratic Party for the People, has caused considerable controversy. In the post, Tamaki proposed the following idea. This year, provide a 50,000 yen payment as a social insurance premium refund. Then, starting next year, provide a 50,000 yen tax cut through a resident tax deduction. Wouldn't this be a good idea? Many of the replies were highly critical. Some people said, "Weren't you the one who said the government should stop taking people's money, only to hand it back later?" Others asked, "Doesn't this contradict your previous position?" And some dismissed it as simply another cash handout. So why has this proposal caused such a strong backlash? Today, I'll explain the controversy, including how it relates to Tamaki's previous statements. Part 1. What Tamaki has always said. For a long time, Tamaki has consistently argued that the government should stop collecting so much money in the first place. Instead of taking people's money and then handing some of it back, he has called for tax cuts that increase take-home pay from the beginning. In previous posts, he has repeatedly made statements such as, "We need tax cuts that leave money in people's hands, not handouts based on taking and redistributing." He has also said, "We will increase take-home pay through tax cuts rather than taking money and redistributing it." This has been one of the central messages of the Democratic Party for the People. Part 2. What is Tamaki proposing now? So, what exactly is included in his latest proposal? First, a 50,000 yen social insurance premium refund would be provided this year. Then, starting next year, people would receive the equivalent of another 50,000 yen through a larger resident tax deduction. Together, these measures are intended to provide a total of 100,000 yen in relief relatively quickly. The key phrase here is social insurance premium refund. Tamaki argues that ordinary income tax cuts do not provide enough help to low-income households. Some low-income households pay very little income tax. Others are completely exempt from it. As a result, a normal income tax cut may provide them with little or even no direct benefit. Tamaki therefore treats social insurance premiums as a kind of social insurance tax and proposes refunding part of those premiums. In other words, he argues that this is not simply a cash handout. He presents it as part of a broader effort to reduce the combined burden of taxes and social insurance premiums. Part 3. Why is it causing a backlash? The controversy comes down to a perceived gap between Tamaki's previous message and his latest proposal. In the past, he strongly criticized the practice of taking people's money and then distributing it back to them. But his latest proposal includes a direct payment, even if that payment is described as a refund. From Tamaki's perspective, the money would come from additional tax revenue generated by inflation, what he describes as an inflation tax. He argues that returning this money to the public is not simply redistribution. Instead, he sees it as another way to reduce people's financial burden and increase their take-home pay. However, the word payment immediately triggers a negative reaction among many voters. To them, it looks like another example of the very same take and distribute policy that Tamaki previously criticized. And because his earlier slogans were so strong and memorable, even a partial shift in method can easily look like a contradiction. Conclusion. To sum up, the controversy appears to come from a gap in perception. Tamaki may believe that his underlying philosophy remains consistent. His objective is still to reduce the burden of taxes and social insurance premiums and increase people's take-home pay. However, the proposed method is complicated, and once a direct payment is included, the policy begins to look inconsistent with his earlier message. So what do you think? Is this proposal a clear contradiction? Or is a social insurance premium refund a reasonable alternative, especially for people who would receive little benefit from an ordinary income tax cut? Let me know what you think in the comments. Thank you very much for watching.